So, Tegan, hi. We're here in Las Vegas, and we are going to be answering 3 really cool questions that Justine sent in. I really like the questions. How do you feel about them?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Do you remember I searched you out? How I climbed your
Your first one's really for you. It's about where
yeah.
your favorite places to hang out in Montreal are.
Yeah, I think Justine is from Montreal. You have spent a lot of time in Montreal as well. A lot of people may not remember this or not even know, but when we were making the con, you actually spent about 3 months living in Montreal because you wanted to be in the city and closer to me. Ted came out as well. Ted, guitar player, came out, and we had a lot of fun there. And actually, a lot of the places I loved back then when you were living in the city are still places that I enjoy going to now. Do you remember going with me to Sala Rosa? The Sala Rosa is a community center where they have a venue and they have a restaurant, and I still love that place. They do like salsa nights, and they do great deep fried potato croquette that I really like.
Super good.
Paellas, all sorts of stuff. Anyways, it's a great place, and the venue upstairs is a very small venue, but I have fond memories of both playing and seeing shows there. Some of my other spots that I like to go when I'm back is, and you've also been here with me before, there's a place called Jardin de Penot, which is like a Greek restaurant on Duluth Street, and the thing that is very funny to me about that restaurant is that I've been going for now almost 12 years, and the lady at the front is exactly the same lady every single time, and she has never once said, like, it's you, or hi, or you're back, even though I've been going for 12 years. But the food is great. There's a chicken bruschetta that I really enjoy. Do you have any thoughts? Do you remember liking any places, or do you remember the place Petit Petita that had the little mini fish burgers?
Yep, just ate there recently, actually.
It's a good place. There's a great restaurant called L'Express. I don't think I've ever brought you there. Oh yeah, I have brought you there before. That's also a great sort of traditional French bistro. And then the last 2 places that I'll say that are not just food related. One is Olympico for coffee up in Milan, classic Montreal institution, great coffee. And then the Drawn In Quarterly bookstore up in Milan. Whenever I'm home, I always go and buy a stack of books and great stuff there. So yeah, it's a great city, great town. Do you want to share any of your hotspots in Vancouver just to make it even, just in case anybody sees this?
If anybody's interested, I have a huge blog up on our website
right
now
true.
With a big list of where to go in Vancouver.
If you could only go to one place in Vancouver for the rest of your life, where would you go? Besides your apartment? Besides Mom's house? Like, that's it forever. It's the only place in Vancouver you can ever go again.
I'd eat at this Indian fast food place in the mall in Gastown called India's Flavor.
Cool. That's it, huh?
Yeah.
Is there something specific that you enjoy?
I've just been going there for 12 years. It's just very delicious, and it's like this really cute Indian couple that work there, and they make everything fresh. You can watch them cook it, and I've probably eaten there, I'm not exaggerating when I say maybe like 500 times.
Seriously, 500 times?
Like, I used to eat there sometimes 3 or 4 times a week when I lived up behind City Hall. I used to go to the food court every day and get chicken curry. 12 years. Not once have they ever said nice to see you, because they don't remember who I am, and I love that.
Yeah, it's weird. I think there must be something about when you have a job where you're very familiar to people or very visible all the time. There's something about being ignored that feels really special.
Yeah, it does.
Maybe also being twins, too.
Do you remember I searched you out? How I climbed your city's walls? Do you remember me as the vow? How I prayed for your cause? I stood still, it's what I did.
The answer is yes.
Yeah, I mean, we're really lucky because we are backstage and we rarely run into any sort of antics or craziness out front. I mean, back in the olden days when we first started in the early 2000s, we sold merch, so we had our fair share of rude, drunk, obnoxious, entitled people. Not gonna lie, we had a few we had a few little brawls with fans over the years. I wouldn't even call them fans, just drunken people who thought that we were like a stuffed animal that they could pick up and toss around. So we definitely had our fair share of the drunken craziness. But nowadays, I don't feel like we deal with that. I feel like there's a certain boundary that most people keep because they just assume that we must have security or that they would get in trouble if they touch us. But I think we do talk a lot about the fact that we find that there is this sort of thing that's creeping into culture recently in the last few years where people will walk up, really not even address you. They'll just say, "Can I get a selfie?" and take a photo with you and walk away without really, there's no real interaction. It just feels like people just want a photo so they can put it up on their social media and say they met you. And you can feel a little weird sometimes. Like when I'm at dinner or recently I was like in Vancouver with friends and we had a baby and this girl came over and I mean she was very nice, but it was just an awkward thing to have to like hand a baby away to someone to take a photo. And I think that how we deal with that is just trying to distinguish between personal and work time and make sure that we keep a safe boundary around us when we're in our private homes or at a hotel when we run into fans and they are kind of like drunk at our hotel or they follow us or they're speeding behind our van in a car or something. We definitely set a boundary because we don't want things to get out of control. But we also really want to make ourselves accessible and we want to have a rapport with our audience. So sometimes it's just keeping that balance so that we don't feel overwhelmed by the relationship. But I feel like we're really lucky. Oh, your phone's ringing.
The nice police are calling.
Yeah. I feel like we've been... Do you want to answer it on camera?
Hello!
I feel like we've been really lucky, though. Like, we always say it. Like, I feel like our social media, we hardly ever see really negative stuff. And I think we have a good understanding that, like, the internet's kind of like the Wild West. It gets a little bit crazy. You can't take any of it personally. We try to treat our fans with a ton of respect. And we also I'd say 99% of the time feel like people treat us with so much respect. I feel like we've lucked out. I don't know what it is about our band. Maybe people are just like, maybe we seem scary, but people seem really terrified of mistreating us, so we get treated really well. But when people are mean, we are the first to say, like, to set a boundary. Like, we have no problem saying no.
Yeah, and, you said it in here, too, the politeness trumps all. Like, when fans are nice to us, we often have no problem conversing or, exchanging some kind of anecdote or taking a photograph. So, in a weird way, even though being a fan isn't a job, it's like the more polite, friendly fans, I think, end up getting rewarded with maybe more attention from us because we really are sociable and love to talk to people. But if somebody's like aggressive or has like a weird negative vibe, we quickly like to get out of those situations. So, but best of luck, because working with the public, to anybody out there, but especially to you, Justine, working with the public can be really difficult.
What were the guys calling that thing? They were saying, like, all the security for, like, we're on the Katy Perry tour, but, like, they were saying, like, a lot of the bodyguards and security that work in our industry, they use a certain type of martial arts that's all about diffusing the situation before it ever even gets physical, but that when it does get physical, that it's not a fight. It's, like, truly just to restrain somebody and stop somebody. And I almost feel like that's what we use in life with our personalities. It's like we don't even go to a place of confrontation. When I sense something is not going well, I just disengage, close it down, and move away. So,
although we do occasionally lose our tempers at people in situations where maybe we haven't had a lot of sleep and we're at an airport and someone's rude to us. We have
signers.
We have been known to be grumpy.
Yeah,
we're all human. We're not invulnerable.
The people who come with a big pile of photos and want you to sell photos so they can sell them on the internet. Those people.
Sometimes that's stressful.
I don't like that.
But like 99% of the time, it's pretty good. So good luck with your public service interactions and job. Good luck.
I stuck around. I did I saved you every time. I was a fool for love. I was a fool for love. I was a fool.
So this last question is really interesting. Justine discloses that she's 21, and she talks about some of the aspirations that she has, goals that she set for her life, buying a home, having a family. So the question is about finding a balance in the future for us, and do we see ourselves touring until we're 60? Till we're 60. I guess 60 is the golden age. That's the 60 to 65 is the snowbird age, which is a really great question because probably more than ever, I mean, in my 20s, we definitely got asked this question, but more than ever, not only are we being asked this question by other people, but I think that probably we've been asking the question to ourselves. And I personally feel like we've achieved so much in our career, but there's sort of a never-ending, like, every time you accomplish something, you're already setting new goals, and it can be hard to set a stop date or I'm going to slow down and have a family kind of date. So right now it's sort of starting to think big picture and more broadly about what the next 15 to 20 years look like in terms of records and touring, and if a family can fit into that, or other goals, because we a lot of it is not just as simple as like having a family or having Tegan and Sarah, the touring band. There's so many other things that I think we both want to achieve and want to do, and so it's more complicated. And if you're already asking yourself those questions at 21, I mean, imagine how you feel at 34, because we ask a lot of questions of ourselves.
We did just re-sign our record deal, so we're definitely
we're gonna make records.
You don't have to worry that I think our plan is definitely to continue making records. It's just trying to figure out how to, kind of like with every answer we've already given about, or the answer we gave about how we deal with the public. Like, it's also how we deal with our art. What sort of balance will we need moving forward so that we can sustain the passion that we have for making music. Like, right now we still have so much passion for music. We still love to travel. We still love to get up on stage. We still love going to the studio. We love creating. But as we add more things to our lives, like you pointed out about families and houses and that sort of thing, there's definitely a desire to have more balance. And I think that balance is yet to be sort of determined, but maybe it's just going to be an ongoing thing throughout our 30s. But I definitely feel like we're going to always want to make things. It's just about how much we spend time selling those things.
You also mentioned...
Maybe music will truly, by the time we put another record out, they could just literally have finally committed to subscription service, and we'll just put out songs all the time, and we'll just tour when we want to.
Or maybe we'll have already turned ourselves into holograms, and we'll send our holograms on tour instead of our physical selves.
Yeah.
You never know.
We'll just be a band on Netflix. We'll be like the new show from Netflix, but really it's just like a concert. No, I like touring. I don't want to give up that, but I think we definitely... We want to find balance. I would hate to get to a point, we talk about it a lot backstage, but we meet people who seem really sad and don't seem like they like playing music anymore, and we really don't want to become that, detached from what we do, which is actually about making music and connecting. So
you also, I missed this part at the top, Justine, but you asked about, because of the success of Heartthrob, when can you expect a new album? And the truth is that we even though this has been a very long album cycle, and we've toured a lot over the last couple of years, and as you pointed out, there has been some success that has meant we've done a lot more promotion and traveling, and we still feel quite excited to get right back to work on another album. So I mean, I don't think you'll be waiting so long. I mean, you may have to wait another year or so, because it does take time to write the songs and record them, but we won't be going on some long hiatus unless there's some...
Actually, I'm here to tell you that we are going on a long hiatus.
As Tegan's pregnant, unless she has a bun in the oven. Anyways, thank you for your questions. And I know Justine asked these wonderful questions, but those of you in the Superclose Society have access to them, and we are happy to continue to do this type of thing. We love that you all have signed up, and that you participate on the socials and are interacting mostly... sometimes with me, because I have Twitter on my phone, and Tegan has a BlackBerry, so she can only send messages through a can and a string to me, and then I have to put them up on the internet. But thank you so much. We have lots of really fun stuff coming for the Superclose Society, and hopefully when we're off the road, that will be a great time for us to continue to stay in touch with you guys and do more interactive events like this, to keep you excited until we put out the next record. Something just happened in here. We gotta go. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Justine. We really appreciate your questions.
Bye.
See ya.